Welcome! In today's Dungeon Design Drive-By, we're going to be taking a look at part 1 of an epic one-shot that I like to call Kill the King. I'm Mark William, and you're watching Drive-By D&D. It was just another sunny, bright day as your party traveled from point A to point B. It's midday when your tired feet start complaining. You decide to rest, and before you know it, you're all laughing, sitting around a campfire with a sloshy pint of Hemshekel ale, supping on greasy, beefy stew, remembering the good old days. Okay, so this is scene 1, which I call the nameless woman. So it's really important in the setup that you get your players to this campsite. Make them feel, this is an everyday occurrence. Hopefully you can, again, put this into your campaign. They're just traveling from point A to point B. They're resting at the campsite. It's a normal, usual day. They're having a great time around the campfire. So it's a good opportunity to just put them at a sense of ease, because that's going to be important when we hit them with the twist. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a haggard woman bursts out of the woods, struggling to breathe, struggling for her life. Her face pale, her nose broken, her clothes tattered. Dried blood is just everywhere. Is she mad? She stares at you all, with a desperation like fire in her eyes. "Kill the king," she rasps, before she collapses in front of you. Okay, so that's the twist. This scene is called the Nameless Woman. So in this case, the woman is the twist. She is an unknown person who comes out of the woods and is meant to surprise the party. They're sitting around laughing, having a good time around this campfire, traveling through the land, and this woman just bursts out of the woods and gives them a very crazy, insane mission to kill the king. And it's important. Don't be afraid if your players don't know what to do here. That's the idea. Hopefully they're questioning what this is all about and kind of confused. You'll see why that makes sense later. And once they kind of deal with this, it's going to go to the lead, which is coming up next. A golden locket falls from her delicate hands, and although quite slender and fine, the golden chain glows brightly under the soft afternoon sunlight. Okay, so again, the players just learned that this woman has obviously been brutalized and wants them to kill the king, a very outlandish and big idea for people just traveling from one place to another. The lead here is the golden locket she drops. So hopefully the players will investigate, and when they find the locket, they're going to open it and find 2 children in there, Hugo and Maxine. So again, hopefully this is prompting your players to infer that this woman was treated poorly by the king, the kids might be in danger. Again, hopefully your players are discussing sort of these type of questions like, well, who is this king? And can I even trust this woman, this strange woman who just came out of the woods? So leaving your players sort of in that headspace is where you want them. That fish out of water idea, right? They're foreigners in a strange land. This woman's come out of the woods. She's been hurt by something who she claims is the king and wants the players to avenge her and maybe save her children. So if your players are kind of not sure what to do, that's kind of the perfect spot you want them to be, because then you're going to spring them. You're going to, again, put them into action when we go to scene 2, We Three Knights. After you obtain the golden locket, you hear the sound of riders coming from the woods. Their horses' hooves pound the earth as they rapidly gallop down the road towards you. Currently you can't see them, but they will arrive in mere minutes. Okay. So that was just the setup for scene 2, We Three Knights. It's very important that you don't want your players to stall and hem and haw too much over what's going on. They should feel unsure of themselves. They should not have many clues. They don't know what to go on, but that's the point, because there's going to be 3 scouting knights coming down the road, and it's important that the players have a bit of opportunity to maybe, hide the body, maybe set an ambush, maybe just wait by the fire for these riders to come. It's very important because technically they are at a crime scene. So this should put the players into a state of, we don't want any trouble, or if they do want trouble, They might, again, plan an ambush, or, because again, the knights will be coming down from this angle. But basically, we want to use these knights and put the pressure on the players quickly so that they have to take action. And that will lead to the twist. 3 crazily, ornately armored knights on the most powerful warhorses you've ever seen emerge from the path. They notice your camp immediately, slow their steeds, turn, and guide themselves towards your position. Okay, so that was the twist. And 3 knights come out of the woods, hence the title of the scene, We 3 Knights. These powerful knights are meant to be intimidating, and the great part is it doesn't matter what the players are doing. If they hid, if they tried to hide the body, if they're just sitting around the campfire waiting, the knights are going to investigate the campsite. They're looking for trouble along the road, because little do the players know, the king is coming down the road like within the next hour. So they're basically vetting these people to make sure that they're safe. So again, whatever the players decide to do, they're going to be pressured in some way by these knights approaching the campsite. At this point, we're going to be using one of the knights as the lead. One of the knights, wearing blue armor and holding a standard bearer and a really elaborately designed helmet, peels away from the group and begins questioning the players. Okay, so after the twist is sprung, the knights appear out of the woods. You're going to use one of the knights. I've called him Sir Alec right here, and he's going to peel away from the group and basically, again, depending on what the players did, hopefully he can discover them and find them, and basically he's going to interrogate them. Like, what are they doing here? Why do they have weapons? What's their intentions? And this is going to be a series of, again, this is more of a social encounter where the players are going to have to use their charisma skills to prove to the knight versus his wisdom whether they are just passerbys, and anything like that. Of course, the players are in a bad situation because they are at a crime scene. There is a dead woman there. But again, maybe the players hid the body. So this is where your DM discretion is going to have to come into play, where it depends on what the players do, but the ultimate goal is to get them into an interrogation situation. The players shouldn't feel like they can just beat the knights easily, and that's why this scenario should be for like lower level characters. It's very important that they feel out like a fish out of water, foreigners, not quite powerful enough to handle what's being thrown at them. But hopefully this will stem creativity from the players. So depending on how the players deal with the knights, whether they convince them that they're just safe passerbys, whether it ends up they lose the interrogation, perhaps the knights arrest them, or it results in a combat encounter, it's going to be kind of open-ended. But once you're satisfied that they've sort of proven their innocence, or if they've just failed and, perhaps maybe they failed 3 charisma checks and now the knights are suspicious of them, they might arrest them. So depending on what happens here is going to sort of set the scene for Act 2, which we're going to cover next time in Part 2 of this one-shot, Kill the King. So that's all for Part 1 of Kill the King. Tune in for Part 2, where I explain the aftermath of this first scene and we talk about Scene 2. So thanks for watching, everybody. Remember, all D&D, all day long, all night till dawn. See you next time.